The morning sun filtered through the tall windows of Bean and Blossom, Mia's cafe in Chicago's Wicker Park, casting a warm glow on the exposed brick walls. The air hummed with the scent of roasted coffee beans and the soft clatter of ceramic cups. At 34, Mia had spent 6 years turning this corner spot into a haven, its mismatched wooden tables and velvet armchairs drawing a mix of artists, students, and locals, her hands, calloused from years of grinding beans and scrubbing counters, moved with quiet precision as she crafted a cappuccino, swirling the foam into a delicate fern. The cafe, valued at $400,000 in a recent loan application, wasn't just a business, it was her defiance. Her proof that she could build something lasting in a world that often felt unsteady. Mia adjusted the chalkboard menu, her eyes lingering on the daily special, Clara's Cinnamon Brew, named after her late aunt, whose baking had sparked Mia's love for creating. The cafe was her sanctuary, but family obligations loomed like a storm cloud. Her phone buzzed on the counter, a text from her father. "David, need you at the house tonight. 7 p. Mo. Important." The curt tone was familiar, a summons rather than a request. Mia's stomach tightened. Calls from her parents, David and Susan, rarely brought good news, and her younger sister, Lily, was usually the cause. She texted back, "Busy at the cafe. Can it wait?" David's reply was instant. "No, be here." Mia sighed, glancing at the stack of coffee bags waiting to be unpacked. She had a delivery to sort and a new barista to train, but family demands always trumped her schedule. Bean and Blossom was her pride, a physical manifestation of her resilience. But to her parents, it was just Mia's little coffee shop, a side project they tolerated as long as she kept bailing them out. For 5 years, Mia had been their financial lifeline. When David's construction business hit hard times, she'd covered their mortgage payments, 60,000 and counting. When Susan claimed they were tight, Mia bought groceries, her credit card groaning under the weight of weekly runs. She'd even paid for home repairs, 10,000 for a new roof, 3,000 for a furnace, 2,000 for plumbing. Each time, her parents promised it was temporary, but the requests never stopped. Meanwhile, Lily, 28, floated through life without a job or a care, her charm and delicate nature earning her endless excuses from David and Susan. Mia had believed it was what family did support each other, no questions asked. But the cost was mounting, not just in dollars, but in the quiet erosion of her own dreams. That afternoon, Mia trained her new barista, Sam, a lanky college student with a quick smile. "Watch the steam wand," she said, demonstrating. "Too much pressure, and you'll scald the milk." Sam nodded, mimicking her technique. Mia's phone buzzed again. Susan this time. "Please don't be late." "Mia, we're counting on you." The words grated. Counting on her was their default. But when had they ever counted on Lily? Mia pushed the thought aside. Focusing on the cafe, she loved this place the way customers lingered over books, the laughter that filled the air during open mic nights, the way it felt like a community she'd built from nothing. By 6:30 p.m., Mia locked the cafe, the neon Bean and Blossom sign flickering off. She drove to her parents' house in Oak Park, a suburban colonial with a manicured lawn that hid years of financial strain. The house was a symbol of their pride, a facade of stability Mia had helped maintain. As she pulled into the driveway, memories surfaced, hauling groceries up these steps, writing checks for their mortgage, patching the roof with a contractor she'd paid. Each act had felt like love, but now it tasted like obligation. Inside, the living room was heavy with tension. David sat in his worn recliner, his face carved with stern lines. Susan perched on the couch, her hands twisting a tissue, avoiding Mia's gaze. A stack of papers sat on the coffee table, and Mia's heart sank. Lily was conspicuously absent, likely spared the discomfort of this family talk. Mia sat, her posture rigid. "What's going on?" she asked, her voice steady despite the dread pooling in her chest. David cleared his throat, his eyes fixed on the papers. "We're in trouble, Mia. The construction business is underwater debts, bad contracts, you name it. We're behind on the mortgage, and the bank's threatening to foreclose. We need your help." Mia's pulse quickened, but she kept her tone even. "How much help?" Susan's voice was barely audible. "We need you to sell the cafe. Mia, use the money to pay off our debts. It's the only way to keep the house." The words hit like a punch, stealing her breath. "Sell Bean and Blossom." Mia's voice rose, trembling with disbelief. "Dad, Mom, that's my life. I built it from nothing, 6 years of late nights. Loans. Every ounce of me. It's worth $400,000. Debt-free. And it's profitable. You're asking me to throw it away." David's face hardened. "It's a coffee shop. Mia, you could start another one. The house is our family's foundation. Our legacy. We can't lose it. A coffee shop." Mia's laugh was sharp, cutting through the room. "It's not just anything. It's my work, my home, and what about all I've done for you? The mortgage, $60,000 over 5 years. Groceries every month. The roof, the furnace, the plumbing. I've given everything. And you call my cafe a hobby." Susan flinched, her tissue shredding in her hands. "Those were small things. Mia, you've always been so capable. This is different. This is about saving our home, our family. Small things." Mia stood, her hands shaking. "I've been your bank while Lily does nothing. Where is she? By the way, why isn't she here answering for this? Or is she too delicate to face reality?" David's voice turned cold. "Don't bring Lily into this. She's not like you. She needs us. You're strong. Mia, you've always managed." The words sliced deep, echoing Jake's mother's excuse for Eric in the original story. Mia's vision blurred with unshed tears, not of sadness, but of rage. "Strong enough to pay your bills, but not to matter. I've carried you for years, and you still see me as the backup, not the daughter. Lily's your golden child, and I'm just the ATM." Susan reached out, her hand trembling. "Mia, that's not true. We love you both equally." "Equally." Mia's voice broke, but she held her ground. "Then why am I the one you're asking to sacrifice everything? Why isn't Lily selling her art, getting a job, doing anything? You've babied her for years, and now you expect me to dismantle my life to save yours." David slammed his hand on the coffee table, the papers rattling. "Enough. This isn't about Lily. It's about family. If you cared about us, you'd do this." Mia stepped back, her heart pounding. "If you cared about me, you wouldn't ask. You'd see Bean and Blossom as part of this family, not some disposable asset. But you don't. Do you? To you, I'm just a means to an end." She grabbed her coat, ignoring Susan's choked sob and David's glare. "I'm done," she said, her voice steady now. "Figure it out without me." She stormed out, the front door slamming behind her. The cold Chicago night bit at her skin, but it couldn't match the fire in her chest. She drove back to her apartment above the cafe, her mind racing. David's words. It's just a coffee shop looped in her head, mingling with Susan's plea. "You've always been so capable. Capable. A polite way of saying expendable." She thought of the years she'd supported them: 60,000 in mortgage payments, 15,000 in repairs, countless grocery runs, all dismissed as small things. The betrayal wasn't just their demand, it was their refusal to see her. At her apartment, Mia couldn't sleep. She paced the small space, the cafe's familiar creaks below grounding her. A memory nagged at her. Last month, David had asked her to organize their financial files for a tax issue. She'd skimmed papers in their study, too busy to linger, but something had caught her eye: a life insurance policy. She hadn't read it closely, assuming it was routine. Now, doubt gnawed at her. What if it held more answers? The next morning, while her parents were at their weekly church service, Mia drove back to Oak Park. She still had a key to the house, though she rarely used it. The study was as she'd left it, the file cabinet tucked in a corner. Her hands trembled as she opened the drawer labeled Insurance and Estate. There it was, a life insurance policy for David and Susan, updated in 2023, worth 500,000. She flipped to the beneficiary section, her breath catching. Lily Thompson, sole beneficiary. Not a mention of Mia. Despite her years of keeping their lives afloat, the document slipped from her hands, landing on the desk with a soft thud. Mia sank into a chair, her mind reeling. They hadn't just asked her to sell her cafe, they'd planned a future where she was erased. Her contributions meaningless. The policy wasn't just a financial choice, it was a declaration that Lily, their delicate daughter, was their priority, while Mia, the capable one, was disposable. She snapped a photo of the policy, her resolve hardening like steel. She wouldn't confront them yet. She needed time, evidence, a plan to protect what was hers. As she drove back to the cafe, Chicago's skyline loomed, a reminder of the life she'd built. Bean and Blossom was more than a business. It was her identity, her community, her proof that she was enough. Her parents had made their choice, but so would she. This wasn't about running away, like Jake leaving his parents' house. It was about standing her ground, reclaiming her worth, and brewing a future on her terms. The morning after discovering the life insurance policy, Mia sat in the back office of Bean and Blossom, the Chicago dawn casting a soft glow through the cafe's frosted windows. The photo of the policy glared from her phone, the words beneficiary. Lily Thompson etched into her mind like a scar. For 5 years, she'd been her family's financial anchor. 60,000 in mortgage payments, 15,000 in home repairs, countless grocery runs, while her sister, Lily, drifted through life, coddled by their parents, David and Susan. Yet the 500,000 policy named Lily as the sole recipient, erasing Mia's sacrifices as if they were nothing. The betrayal wasn't just financial, it was a declaration that she, the capable daughter, was disposable. The cafe's hum grounded her, the soft whir of the espresso machine, the clink of cups as her barista, Sam, prepped for opening. Bean and Blossom, valued at 400,000, was her fortress. Its exposed brick walls and velvet armchairs, a testament to 6 years of relentless work. Mia's hands, stained with coffee grounds and ink from late-night accounting, trembled as she dialed her lawyer, Rachel, a no-nonsense woman who'd helped incorporate the cafe. "I need you to see something," Mia said, her voice steady despite the storm in her chest. She emailed the policy photo, along with a summary of last night's confrontation, her parents' demand to sell the cafe, their dismissal of her contributions, Lily's absence. Rachel's response was swift, her tone calm but urgent. "This is serious. Mia, the policy shows their priorities, Lily over you. Despite your support, they've got no legal claim to your cafe. but their demand to sell it suggests they're desperate. We need to protect your assets now. They might try guilt, legal pressure, or public shaming. Mia nodded, her jaw tight. What about the policy? Can they just cut me out like that? Rachel's voice softened. It's their policy, their choice, but it's evidence of their intent. If they push, we can use it to show a pattern of manipulation. Send me everything: bank statements, receipts, texts, anything proving your financial support. Mia spent the morning fortifying her defenses. She logged into her cafe's bank accounts, changing passwords and enabling two-factor authentication. She set up alerts for unauthorized transactions, her fingers moving with a precision born of anger. At Rachel's advice, she emailed her accountant to pull records of every payment to her parents. $60,000 in mortgage transfers, $10,000 for the roof, $3,000 for the furnace, $2,000 for plumbing, 500 monthly grocery runs. Each receipt felt like a wound, a reminder of how her love had been exploited. She saved them to a secure cloud drive, building a case she hoped she'd never need. By noon, her phone buzzed with a text from Susan. Mia, we're worried. Please come home. We need to talk. No apology. No mention of the cafe or their demand to sell it. Just another summons. Mia's chest tightened, but she ignored it. Minutes later, David texted, "The mortgage is due in a week. You can't just walk away." The audacity was staggering. They'd asked her to dismantle her life, and now they expected her to keep paying as if nothing had changed. Then came Lily's text, dripping with fake concern. "Sis, why are you being like this? We're family." Mia's laugh was cold, echoing in the empty office. Family. The word had lost its meaning last night when David slammed his hand on the table, dismissing her cafe as just a coffee shop. She typed back to David, "I'm sure Lily can cover the mortgage, since she's your priority." To Susan, "There's nothing to talk about. You made your choice." To Lily, "Family. Funny how you only show up when you need my money." She hit send, her heart pounding. The silence that followed was heavy, broken an hour later by a voicemail from Susan, her voice trembling with practiced fragility. "Mia, we're losing everything. How can you do this to us? We're your parents." Mia deleted it, her resolve unshaken. She'd spent years swallowing their guilt trips, no more. At the cafe, Mia threw herself into work, training Sam on latte art while keeping an eye on the door. She half expected her parents to show up, demanding answers, but the morning rush kept her grounded. Customers filled the tables, their chatter a comforting hum. Jamal, a regular who ran a nearby bookstore, ordered his usual flat white. "You okay, Mia?" he asked, noting her tense smile. "Family stuff," she said, keeping it vague. Jamal nodded, his eyes kind. "You built this place. That's real. Don't let anyone take it from you." His words lingered, a reminder of the community she'd created. By afternoon, the escalation began. Sam handed her a letter delivered to the cafe, the envelope marked with a law firm's logo. Mia's stomach dropped as she opened it. It was from a Mr. Harper, her parents' lawyer, requesting a meeting to discuss family obligations and outstanding debts. Attached was a list claiming Mia owed $80,000 in loans for the mortgage, repairs, and groceries, none of which had been formalized as loans. The letter suggested that selling Bean and Blossom would resolve these obligations and preserve family harmony. Mia's hands shook with fury. They were rewriting history, framing her voluntary help as debt to pressure her into compliance. She forwarded the letter to Rachel, who called immediately. "This is a bluff," Rachel said, her voice sharp. "They're trying to scare you into selling. There's no legal basis for these debts. Your payments were gifts, not loans, and we have receipts to prove it. The policy strengthens our case. It shows they've favored Lily while exploiting you. I'll draft a cease and desist to block any interference with your cafe. But Mia, be ready. They might take this public to shame you. Mia nodded, remembering Jake's family's Facebook posts from the original story. Her parents thrived on their image as hardworking Oak Park pillars. If cornered, they'd play the victim, and Lily would join them. That evening, Mia stayed late at the cafe, the neon sign casting a soft glow over the empty tables. She sorted through years of digital records, each transaction a stab of betrayal. A 2020 bank transfer for $5,000 labeled Mom-Dad Mortgage. A 2021 receipt for $10,000 to Oak Park Roofing Co. A 2022 Venmo payment to Susan for $500 labeled groceries. The pattern was clear, not occasional help, but a consistent drain, enabling her parents' lifestyle and Lily's inertia. She found texts from David, casual demands for cash, need $2K for the mortgage. Mia, can you send it? Susan's emails, framing Lily's idleness as just a phase. She'll find her way. Maya, be patient. Every record felt like a puzzle piece, revealing a picture of exploitation hidden under the guise of family love. Around 10 p.m., her phone lit up with a Facebook notification. Mia hesitated, then opened it. Susan had posted a photo of the Oak Park house, captioned, "Our hearts break as our daughter turns her back on us, refusing to help in our time of need. Family means sacrifice, but some choose selfishness." The post had 50 likes, with comments from family friends. "How awful. Susan, you don't deserve this. Kids these days are so ungrateful." Lily shared it, adding, "I'd do anything for Mom and Dad. It hurts to see someone we love act this way." The lies were brazen, painting Mia as the villain while erasing her years of support. Mia's blood boiled, her fingers itching to fire back. She imagined posting the policy photo, exposing their betrayal to the world. But Jake's story echoed in her mind his measured response, his refusal to stoop to their level. She needed to be strategic, not reactive. She opened a blank document and began drafting a response. Her words sharp but factual. "My family calls me selfish for refusing to sell my cafe. Here's the truth. I've paid their mortgage $60,000 plus, repairs $15,000 plus, and groceries for years, while my sister contributed nothing." They named her the sole beneficiary of a $500,000 policy. "Ignoring me, I'm done being their bank." She saved it, deciding to sleep on it. The truth would come out, but on her terms. The next morning, Mia met Rachel at her law office, a sleek space in downtown Chicago. She handed over a USB drive with her records, bank statements, receipts, texts, emails. Rachel scanned them, her expression grim. "This is airtight. Mia, your payments show a pattern of reliance, and the policy proves their bias. The lawyer's debt claim is nonsense. We'll shut it down with the cease and desist. But the social media posts are a problem. They're building a narrative to pressure you. If you respond, keep it factual, not emotional." Mia nodded, her draft post burning in her mind. "I will, but I need to protect the cafe first." Rachel leaned forward. "We'll file a formal notice to Harper, demanding they retract the debt claim and cease contact about your business. If they push, we can escalate to a restraining order or fraud charges. Given the policy's implications, you've got the upper hand. Mia, use it." Mia exhaled, a flicker of hope cutting through her anger. The cafe was hers, and no one, not her parents, not Lily, Not their lawyer could take it. Back at Bean and Blossom, Mia briefed Sam and her other barista, Ellie, on the situation, keeping it vague but clear. My family might show up or cause trouble. Don't let anyone in the back office. And call me if they appear. Sam frowned, concerned. You sure you're okay? Mia. She forced a smile. I will be. This place is my home. They don't get to touch it. Ellie nodded, her eyes fierce. We've got your back. As the lunch rush hit, Mia worked the counter, pouring lattes and chatting with customers. The cafe's energy laughter, the clink of coins, the scribble of chalk on the menu board felt like armor. But her phone buzzed with another text from David. You're breaking your mother's heart. Meet us tonight, or we'll come to the cafe. The threat was clear. They'd invade her sanctuary. Mia's grip tightened on a coffee mug, her resolve hardening. Let them come. She was ready. The Chicago skyline glittered through the windows of Bean and Blossom as Mia stood behind the counter, the morning rush in full swing. It was 3 days since she'd received the threatening letter from her parents' lawyer, Mr. Harper, claiming she owed $80,000 in fabricated debts. The sting of her family's betrayal, the $500,000 life insurance policy naming her sister, Lily, as the sole beneficiary despite Mia's years of financial support, still burned. But Mia wasn't crumbling. She'd fortified her defenses, securing her cafe's accounts, compiling evidence of her contributions, $60,000 in mortgage payments, $15,000 in repairs, monthly grocery runs, and working with her lawyer, Rachel, to draft a cease and desist letter. Now, her parents' public shaming on Facebook had pushed her to the edge. It was time to fight back. Mia's draft post, written the night before, sat open on her laptop in the cafe's back office. It was a measured response to Susan's post, which had vilified her as a selfish daughter abandoning her family, and Lily's follow-up, painting herself as the devoted sibling. Mia's words were sharp but factual. My family calls me selfish for refusing to sell my cafe. Here's the truth. I've paid their mortgage $60,000 plus, repairs $15,000 plus, and groceries for years, while my sister contributed nothing. They named her the sole beneficiary of a $500,000 policy, ignoring me. I'm done being their bank. Family is mutual respect, not one-sided demands. I wish them well, but I'm choosing myself. She'd slept on it, ensuring her anger didn't cloud her clarity. Today, she'd post it, not out of spite, but to reclaim her narrative. Before opening the cafe, Mia met Rachel over coffee at a nearby diner, handing over a USB drive with her compiled evidence bank statements, receipts, texts, emails. Rachel scanned a mortgage transfer from 2021, her eyes narrowing. This is gold. Mia, your records show a clear pattern. You've been their financial crutch. While Lily's done nothing, the policy proves their bias. Harper's debt claim is dead in the water. I sent the cease and desist yesterday, demanding they retract it. They haven't responded. But your parents' Facebook posts suggest they're doubling down on the victim act. Mia nodded, her jaw tight. They threatened to come to the cafe. David texted last night, saying they'd confront me if I didn't meet them. Rachel leaned forward, her voice firm. If they show up, don't engage. Call me, or call security. The cease and desist covers harassment, and we can escalate to a restraining order if needed. Your post is a good move. Public opinion can shift fast in Chicago. Just keep it factual, not emotional. And don't mention the policy's dollar amount yet. Let them dig their own hole. Mia exhaled, a flicker of relief cutting through her tension. I'm ready. I just want to protect Bean and Blossom. It's all I have. Back at the cafe, Mia briefed her team Sam, Ellie, and a new barista, Jamal, before the rush. My family might show up or cause trouble, she said, keeping her tone calm. Don't let anyone in the back office. And call me if they appear. No drama, just business. Sam frowned, his loyalty evident. They'd mess with you here. That's low. Ellie, fierce as ever, cracked her knuckles. Let 'em try. We've got you. Mia. Their support warmed her, a stark contrast to her family's betrayal. Unlike Jake's solitary stand in the original story, Mia had a community, a chosen family rooted in Wicker Park's vibrant pulse. At 9 a.m., Mia posted her response on Facebook, her heart pounding as she hit share. The cafe was buzzing, customers filling every table, the chalkboard menu advertising Clara's cinnamon brew in looping script. Mia worked the counter, pouring lattes and forcing a smile, but her phone buzzed relentlessly with notifications. She stole a glance. 20 likes, then 50, then 100. Comments flooded in from regulars, friends, even strangers. Mia, you're a rock star. They don't deserve you. Bean and Blossom is a gem. Keep shining. Her cousin Tara, who'd grown distant under Susan's influence, messaged privately, I saw Mom's post, but your side makes sense. I'm so sorry. Can we talk? The support was overwhelming, a balm to the wounds her family had inflicted. But the backlash came fast. Susan called an hour later, her voice shrill through voicemail. Mia, how dare you humiliate us online? You're tearing this family apart. Everyone's talking about us now. Mia deleted it, her resolve unshaken. Lily texted, You're a liar. I never asked for the policy. You're just jealous. Mia's fingers hovered over her phone, tempted to fire back. But she took Rachel's advice and responded coolly. Then give back the 500,000. Prove you didn't want it. Silence followed. Lily's bluff called. By noon, Mia's post had 300 shares, spreading across Chicago's tight-knit social scene. Customers at the cafe whispered, some offering quiet support. Jamal, the bookstore owner, slid a $20 tip with his flat white, saw your post, he said. You're not alone. Mia, this place is home for a lot of us. His words echoed the community Jake found in his shop, but Mia's urban setting amplified it. Her cafe a hub of artists and dreamers who rallied around her truth. Then came a twist. Tara called during a lull, her voice urgent. Mia, I found something you need to see. I was at Mom and Dad's last week, helping with their files, and I saw a bank statement in Lily's name. She got a $20 as an art commission. 6 months ago, some gallery deal. She never told you, did she? Mia's breath caught. Lily, the delicate sister who claimed to be struggling, had hidden a windfall while Mia was pressured to sell her cafe. Can you send it? Mia asked, her voice tight. Tara emailed the statement, a scanned document showing a $20 zeros deposit to Lily's account from Windy City Gallery, dated April 2004. The revelation burned. Mia had paid their mortgage that same month. Believing they were desperate, she forwarded the statement to Rachel, who called immediately. This changes everything, Rachel said, her tone gleeful. Lily's struggling artist narrative is a lie. This proves they've been manipulating you, letting you carry the load while she hoarded cash. We can use this if they escalate legally, but for now, let it leak. Public pressure will hit them harder than a lawsuit. Mia nodded, her mind racing. She didn't want revenge, but the truth was her weapon. She shared the statement with Tara, asking her to discreetly spread it to their cousins, knowing it would reach Oak Park's gossip mill. That afternoon, the cafe was packed, the Clara's cinnamon brew selling out. Ellie suggested a new blend, Resilience Roast, to celebrate Mia's stand. "It's bold, like you," Ellie said, grinning. Mia laughed, approving it on the spot. The idea sparked a wave of excitement among the staff, who began sketching a logo, a coffee bean wreathed in flames. The cafe felt alive, its energy a shield against the chaos her family was stirring. But the storm wasn't over. Around 3 p.m., Sam rushed to the counter, his face pale. "Mia, your parents are here." Outside, arguing with a customer. Mia's heart sank. David's threat to confront her at the cafe was real. She wiped her hands on her apron, steeling herself, and stepped outside. David and Susan stood on the sidewalk, David's face red with fury. Susan clutching her purse like a lifeline. A regular, a tattooed poet named Zoe, was telling them to leave. "This is Mia's place," Zoe said. "You don't get to harass her here." Mia raised a hand, signaling Zoe to back off. "I've got this," she said, her voice calm but firm. She faced her parents, arms crossed. "What do you want?" Susan's eyes welled up, her voice trembling. "Mia, your post is ruining us. Everyone's talking, judging us. We're your parents. How could you?" Mia's laugh was cold. "How could I? You demanded I sell my cafe, called my work just a coffee shop, and named Lily the beneficiary of a 500,000 policy while I paid your bills. You humiliated yourselves." David stepped forward, his voice low and menacing. "You're selfish. Mia, we raised you, gave you everything, and now you're letting us lose the house. You'll regret this." The words echoed Jake's father's threat. But Mia didn't flinch. "Regret. The only thing I regret is believing you saw me as family. I know about Lily's 20,000 commission. She's not struggling. You lied to keep me on the hook." Susan gasped, her face paling. David's jaw tightened, but he didn't deny it. The silence was damning. Mia continued, her voice steady. "You've got the cease and desist. Stay away from my cafe, my life. If you come here again, I'm calling the police." She turned, walking back inside, the door chime ringing like a victory bell. Zoe and other customers clapped, their support a roar in her ears. Inside, Sam and Ellie flanked her, their presence a fortress. That evening, Mia checked Facebook. Tara's leak had worked. The bank statement was circulating, with cousins and family friends questioning Susan's narrative. A local blog picked it up. Oak Park family drama. Daughter exposes sister's hidden cash. Susan's posts lost traction. Buried under skepticism, Rachel texted. Harper retracted the debt claim. "You're clear. Keep your head high." Mia smiled. Exhaustion mingling with triumph. The cafe, her community, her truth, they were hers. And no one could take them away. 8 months had passed since Mia's confrontation with her parents outside Bean and Blossom, and the cafe had become a beacon in Chicago's Wicker Park. The neon sign glowed brighter, its warm light spilling onto the sidewalk, drawing a steady stream of artists, students, and locals. Inside, the exposed brick walls were adorned with local art. The velvet armchairs filled with patrons sipping the Resilience Roast, a bold blend that had become a bestseller. Mia, now 35, stood behind the counter, her hands steady as she crafted a latte, the foam forming a perfect heart. The cafe, valued at $450,000 after a recent appraisal, was no longer just her sanctuary, it was a thriving empire, a testament to her strength and the community that had rallied around her. The resilience roast wasn't just a drink, it was a symbol of Mia's journey. Proceeds from its sales funded a scholarship for women entrepreneurs, a legacy inspired by her late Aunt Clara, whose baking had sparked Mia's dreams. The cafe had expanded, adding a cozy reading nook with floor-to-ceiling bookshelves and a stage for weekly open mic nights. Mia's staff, Sam, Ellie, Jamal, and her cousin Tara, who joined after cutting ties with Susan and David, worked like a family, their laughter filling the air. The chalkboard menu, updated daily, featured Clara's cinnamon brew alongside new specials, each named for a moment of triumph. Bean and Blossom wasn't just a business, it was Mia's home, her proof that she could build a life without the family who'd betrayed her. The past lingered, but its grip had weakened. Mia's public stand on Facebook, exposing her parents' demand to sell the cafe and the $500,000 life insurance policy favoring Lily, had shifted the narrative. Her evidence, $60,000 in mortgage payments, $15,000 in repairs. Countless grocery runs had silenced their lawyer's $80,000 debt claim. Tara's revelation of Lily's hidden $20,000 art commission had dismantled the delicate sister myth, spreading through Oak Park's gossip mill and local media. A Chicago blog's headline, Oak Park family drama, daughter exposes sister's hidden cash, had sealed their downfall. Susan's Facebook posts lost traction, buried under skepticism, and David's threats to confront Mia at the cafe had fizzled after her warning of police action. Mia's lawyer, Rachel, kept her updated. David and Susan had sold the Oak Park house, unable to keep up with the mortgage without Mia's support. They'd moved to a modest condo in Florida. Their social circle fractured as friends and relatives questioned their story. Lily, now 29, had followed them, her art career tanking after the commission scandal. She remained jobless, living off her parents' dwindling savings. Tara, who'd become Mia's confidant, shared occasional updates. They're bitter. Mia, Mom keeps saying you ruined them, but no one's buying it anymore. Mia didn't revel in their collapse. It was simply a consequence of their choices. She'd grieved the family she wanted, but the pain no longer defined her. At the cafe, Mia poured her energy into growth. The Resilience Roast Scholarship had funded its first recipient, a young baker named Aisha, whose pastries now graced the cafe's display case. Open mic nights drew crowds, with poets, musicians, and comedians filling the stage, their voices echoing Mia's own resilience. A local magazine, Chicago Pulse, ran a feature, From Family Betrayal to Coffee Empire, Mia Thompson's Triumph. The article detailed her journey, from the policy's betrayal to the cafe's expansion, painting her as a symbol of perseverance. Orders poured in, both in person and online, as the cafe's website offered Resilience roast beans nationwide. Mia hired another barista, a quiet artist named Leo, whose murals brightened the cafe's exterior. One spring evening, as Mia prepared for an open mic night, a package arrived at the cafe. No return address. The small box, wrapped in plain brown paper, felt like a ghost from the past. She set it aside, focusing on the event. The reading nook was packed, fairy lights twinkling above the stage. Jamal emceed, his bookstore charm drawing laughs as he introduced a poet. Tara worked the counter, her presence a quiet anchor. Mia mingled, refilling coffee pots, her smile genuine. The cafe felt alive, each laugh and clap a thread in the tapestry she'd woven. After the event, Mia retreated to the back office, the package waiting on her desk. She opened it, her hands cautious. Inside was a letter, the handwriting unmistakably Clara's. Her late aunt who'd taught her to bake. A small key was taped to the paper, the key to Clara's old recipe box, where Mia had learned to make cinnamon rolls as a child. Her breath caught, tears pricking her eyes. The letter read, "Maya, my sweet girl, your heart is your strength. You've always had a gift for creating, for making people feel seen. Build your world, and let no one dim your light. I see you. Always. Love. Clara." The letter was dated 2015, a year before Clara's death, likely tucked away in Susan's attic and sent by someone, Tara, perhaps who'd found it. Mia clutched the key, its weight a lifeline to the woman who'd believed in her when her parents hadn't. Clara's words echoed the cafe's spirit, the community that had become Mia's family. She hung the key on a chain above the counter, next to the Resilience Roast logo, a talisman of her roots and her rebirth. The next day, Mia met Tara at a nearby park, the Chicago skyline looming in the distance. Tara hugged her, her eyes bright. "I sent the letter," she admitted. "I found it in Mom's stuff when they moved. I knew you needed it." Mia squeezed her hand, gratitude swelling. "Your family, Tara. The real kind." Tara smiled, her own rift with Susan and David still raw. "I'm learning from you, Mia. Choosing myself, too." Their conversation turned to the cafe's future. Mia shared plans for a second location in Logan Square, leveraging the scholarship's success to mentor more women entrepreneurs. Tara suggested a cookbook, compiling Clara's recipes with Mia's coffee blends. The ideas flowed, each one a brick in Mia's new foundation. Unlike Jake's solitary shop in the original story, Mia's urban community amplified her vision, her cafe a hub of creativity and connection. But the past wasn't done. A week later, Lily emailed, her tone a mix of defiance and desperation. "Mia, I know you hate me, but I didn't ask for the policy or the commission. Mom and Dad are struggling in Florida. They need you. Can we talk?" The email included a photo of the Oak Park house, now sold. As if nostalgia could sway her, Mia stared at it. The Colonial's porch, a faint memory of grocery runs and repair checks. Lily's plea was hollow, a last-ditch effort to pull Mia back into their orbit. She showed the email to Rachel over lunch. "It's manipulation," Rachel said, slicing her sandwich. "They're testing you. Don't engage. But if you want closure, write a response for yourself, not them." Mia nodded, returning to the cafe to draft a letter she'd never send. "Lily, Mom, Dad, you chose your path when you demanded I sell my cafe, when you hid Lily's 20,000 and gave her 500,000 while I paid your bills. I was never your daughter, just your safety net. I've built a life without you, one of community, purpose, truth. I don't hate you. I'm free of you. Live with your choices." She saved the letter, feeling lighter, like Jake blocking his family's numbers. Mia was cutting ties, not out of anger, but self-respect. She printed Clara's letter instead, framing it beside the key above the counter. The cafe's hum, customers chatting, espresso steaming. Leo sketching a new mural felt like a promise kept. One evening, Mia walked to Lake Michigan, the water reflecting Chicago's lights. She thought of Clara, of the cafe's first days, of the family she'd lost and the one she'd found. The policy's betrayal, once a knife, was now a scar, proof of her survival. She pulled Clara's key from its chain, its metal cool in her palm. She didn't need it anymore, not as a tether to the past. She tossed it into the lake, watching it sink, the ripples fading into the night. Bean and Blossom was her legacy, woven from her strength, her community, her truth.